Welcome back. So I wanted to make sure that I made a video so I can make it really clear for many of you that are working, I would say backwards, when it comes to cleansing, uncrossing, and protection. Because when I'm out here helping people get themselves together and I'm seeing you working wrong, everything is not going to fall into place. Everything is going to crumble. So if you're not cleansing on a regular basis and you're not protected and you're not uncrossing when you should, you are really going to be vulnerable for many attacks. You're going to be vulnerable for spiritual attacks. You're going to be vulnerable for mental attacks. And you're going to be, of course, vulnerable for the physical attacks. Now, when it comes down to spiritual attacks, of course, you cannot see it, but you feel it and you sense it. And for many of you, you know you're spiritually getting attacked. And what's the first thing that you go do? You go and you get protected. And that is incorrect. You cannot be under attack and physically going through things and physically feeling things, and then you go and work a protection. And then a lot of you are, I know majority of the new people that come to me, I know a lot of them are lying. I know a lot of them are lying mainly because they'll tell me, yeah, I got a reading done. So if you got a reading done with somebody, that person should have really directed you on what to do. If they told you that you had black magic on you, you were hexed, you were cursed, you were crossed, you were jinxed up, you should have been given direct details and instructions on how to do things. And I know for many of you, you will go to a psychic. A psychic is not a root worker. Okay? And if you are going to a root worker, make sure that root worker can do readings. There's a lot of people that play with tarot, and that does not mean that they are able and capable of helping you do things. So if you're coming to me and you're going to lie about what is really happening, I'm always going to find out. And I'm going to most likely reject you if you are going to come straight up to me and lie. If you didn't get a reading done, just say you didn't get a reading done. And if you got a reading done with a psychic, say you got a reading done with a psychic, okay? When it comes down to spirituality, when it comes down to readings, you need to go to somebody that really can do it all. I wouldn't recommend you going to a root worker that can't cleanse you or can't read you. And I would recommend you going to a spiritualist that can really help you. When it comes down to magic and root work and just everything about it, there's a lot of people that are really ignorant to magic. They really don't know what it is. And there's people that feel that you should be called this, you should be called that. Like, I've been doing magic for years. And I do encounter the ignorant. And I've encountered an ignorant person not too long ago, and this person felt like me calling myself a black witch or others calling me a black witch was incorrect. And that's all wrong. Like, you can't tell me what I should be called. I am a black witch, no matter what. Even though years ago how I represented, I felt witches were represented years ago, which is why I didn't like being called one. I am a black witch, no matter what. I'm a root worker. I'm a spiritualist. I do readings. Do not call me a seer. That is a biblical term, and it's very rare that you go around, oh, I need to find a seer. No, it's very rare. Very rare. And I don't know a lot of black witches that people are really calling them seers. People call them black witches. If you're a Spanish witch, you're a bruja. If you're a white witch, you're a witch. Still, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't really matter. If you're a witch, you are a witch. The roots behind you, the ancestors and the spirits, that there is what matters. But what people feel you should be called, or what people feel others should be calling me, it doesn't matter. I encounter the ignorant all the time, and I do not let it stop me from doing what I do. You either call me magic hand, or you call me black witch, or you call me spiritualist, or you call me a root worker, whatever it is. I am that. That's what I am. So the history behind me is what's really important. And when I tell you to do something, I would tell you to take that advice. And if you're coming to me and you're looking for a root worker, I do readings. I do root work. I make every single item so I can carefully cater to you correctly. But if you're doing things incorrectly after I'm telling you not to, then I'm not going to cater to you. I'm not obligated to help you, and I'm not going to continue pushing energy on you to help you to try to change things to better you if you feel that working the way you're working is beneficial. Many times it's not. If you are really crossed up and you are cursed. And I have a video talking about curses, hexes, and jinxes. So I'll put the link below so you guys can watch that, so you can understand the differences, because many of you don't understand the differences. So what I'm seeing is this. I'll give you a few examples. Things will be happening at work. Instead of you going to protect yourself, you're going after that person, right? You're jinxed in love and money and just everything overall, just shortcomings every which direction you go in. You're going to go to do protection. How? Things are on you. If something is on you, you need to take it off. Just like if you're dirty. When you get dirty and you come home from work, or if you're playing outside with the kids and dirt comes on you, you go and you take a bath, right? And you cleanse yourself. And you're removing the dirt so you can be clean. And this is why I stress the importance to everybody. Cleansing, uncrossing, and protection is really, really important when you start doing spiritual work. When you get into witchcraft. Even on your spiritual journey where you're not messing with candles, you're just trying to find yourself, trying to find your path, trying to find your religion. When you're trying to find yourself, you still need to keep yourself cleansed. You keep away from certain people. If you know you're going down a certain path and a certain road where negativity has been attached to you, you start removing yourself from those negative instances, from those negative people, so that those negative situations can no longer come to, so that you can get back on the right path. So if it applies in every area, you should apply it when it comes down to working magic, using your candles, doing jars, everything. And cleansing, like I tell you, use your cleansing soap on a regular basis. Wear your cleansing scarf. Do a cleansing bath weekly. Do your scrubs. I have a whole spiritual body line, so there's nothing that it should be lacked when it comes to cleansing yourself. I make cleansing bracelets. So every single thing that you need, I tell you, get yourself together and do it on a regular basis. When it comes down to uncrossing, uncrossing doesn't remove the good things. It's going to remove the unwanted, the negative, the hexes, the curses, the jinxes. And if you're badly and heavily cursed, you can't do nothing for yourself. You can't. And if you're using a cleansing soap instead of using an uncrossing or getting uncrossing done by someone or getting help and being uncrossed by someone, you're going to kind of stay in the same situation. When it comes down to the cleansing on a regular basis, you're disconnecting negativity. You're removing things. You're keeping your mind, body, and soul clear so you can work well in between spells and rituals. So there is a difference between the cleansing and the uncrossing. The uncrossing is breaking things. It's going to remove things permanently so they cannot come back. And so they won't come back. What do you do after uncrossing? You protect yourself. You shield yourself. And protection is a must. Not every few years, on a regular basis, especially if you're doing work on people. If you're going after people and you feel that you're going to be clean in between working nasties and dirty things on people, you're wrong. You must remove it. And every time you do something dirty to somebody, uncross yourself. Remove that so it doesn't stick to you, so it doesn't fall back, so that you don't get the negative feedback and the pushback of things, because sometimes you do. Sometimes you're working on people way too powerful. And I tell you guys all the time, not everybody can be touched. There are people out there, no matter what, you cannot touch them. The ancestors are over them heavy. And I would really want you guys to learn the difference between deities, saints, orishas, loas, spirits, guardians, ancestors, and just benevolent versus malevolent energy, low vibrations. You guys really don't know that. A lot of you don't work with ancestors, so there's no one to guide you. A lot of you don't do readings. A lot of you are not spiritually connected. There's no clarity. There's your mind is always blocked. So when you have a lot of heavy things constantly going back and forth, you're going to stay stuck. Just like for many of you, instead of healing yourself after a relationship, after heartbreak, you want to jump right back into working love on that person, to bringing them back in. No, you got to heal yourself. You're going to keep carrying those baggages over and over and over. If not to that same person, to another person. And nobody's obligated to deal with your baggages from another relationship. If you are not fully healed, you need to leave people alone. Leave people alone when it comes to the romantic and the sexual aspect. Because you can still put blockages on people sexually, even if you're not connecting to them on the romantic level because of your past relationships. So you need to learn to cut and clear. There's a lot of things in between the cleansing, the uncrossing, the protection that you guys are not doing. When things happen, y'all jumping backwards. Y'all doing a protection, and then y'all want to uncross, and then y'all want to cleanse. Cleansing is daily. Cleansing is your spiritual bath. When you wash your face, when you brush your teeth, when you put your clothes on. Your spiritual bath, your spiritual thing that you need to do for the day is cleanse. This is why I tell you, use that cleansing soap until it is nothing. Use that cleansing salt, that cleansing scrub, that cleansing oil until it is nothing. And when you're a new witch, you're a newbie to magic, and you're not fully understanding things, cleansing and protection are your best friends. They're going to guide you. You cannot come into this vulnerable and open for attacks, because you will be a target. Because remember, people mess with people sometimes just because. And if you put yourself out there to be a target, you will be attacked. There are a lot of ignorant, I wouldn't even call them witches. I would just say ignorant people that mess with magic. And there are a lot of people messing with magic that have no idea the backlash that will happen when they start doing certain things. I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of DMs. Like my DMs, I had to stop going through DMs because there's just so many DMs. I guess because people feel that's the quickest way to answer me. But so many messages on a regular basis where people are messing with certain... I can't say saints because saints are benevolent. If you're a canonized saint, you're not going to bring in no harm. And you shouldn't work a saint to do harm to people. That's number one. But the DTs, they're different. They're hot-headed. They're not calm. And they're going to work you in a different manner. And if you don't know how to work these DTs, and if you're watching a video where somebody's recommending you work with a DT, there's no relationship behind that, no communication, you don't know what they like, what they don't like, they're going to use you and abuse you and leave you for nothing. And I see so many people working so many different DTs, so many orishas, so many low vibrations they have working, and then they're like, oh, my magic don't work. Of course your magic don't work. You working with too many negative aspects. And when you working with certain DTs, and you working with certain spirits, and you working with certain vibrations, period, you got to know what they're capable of. And if you don't know, they're going to take you down. Because I see a lot of people buying different types of statues. And then I'll get a message, magic, I don't think this spirit is who it is begging me for things. Listen, saints don't beg, okay? Saints don't beg. I've never heard of the ancestors begging. Low vibrations, they always want something, so they'll usually tell you that they can give you something in order to get something. And unlike the people that y'all meeting on YouTube that are calling y'all 24/7, texting y'all 24/7, and then they go into those threats telling y'all if y'all don't work with them, they're low vibrations too. And you got to be careful with those people that y'all meet on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, that claim to be this and that, but then they start threatening to bury y'all. Those are low vibrational people as well, and they begging. Listen, when you are a spiritual worker, when you are a root worker, even when you are not those things and you're just working for yourselves, the ancestors, the guardians, the saints, they look out for you. And the connections that you have with certain deities, either good or bad, they will watch over you. And you need to know how to work with the orishas. Don't just jump into it. Don't just watch a video and let somebody convince you and tell you, yeah, you can do it. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. And then you get yourself in problems. And just because you work with certain types of energies doesn't mean they have to listen to you. They can ignore you and take the goods. So all those offerings you keep giving, guess what? They're enjoying it. At no cost at all to themselves, because you're the fool that continues to give with no connection. Why would you continue to give things? And why aren't y'all paying attention to the things that y'all are really doing? Like, if you're working with, honestly, if you're working with a DT that has issues in love, can't keep a man, can't be happy, never ever been happy, do you really think that they're going to do something for you? Do you think they're going to create that stability for you? Because a lot of times they give you promises that are broken. And you guys get so happy. Oh, I got this. from the spirit, from the vibration, from the energy, whatever it is you're working with. Oh, they gave me $1,000. Oh, they helped me get a home. Next thing you know, bills can't get paid. Next thing you know, no job. Next thing you know, you off worse than where you began. Because you allowed yourself to be trapped. And when you are not cleansed, when you are not uncrossing, and when you are not protected, these are the things that happen. See, for many of you, I have shown y'all and taught y'all what types of protection to do. But y'all still don't do it. You got to consider the different types of protection. Now, when it comes down to friends, that should be the last thing that you're trying to protect. Honestly, if you care more about your friends than everything else, then you got a serious problem. But when it comes down to protection, consider your work. Work, do business protection, do boss fix if needed, steady clients, work, good fortune. You want to protect your work. You want to protect your business. Use business protection oil on a regular basis. It's going to protect your finances. It's going to protect the career. It's going to protect everything when it comes to that financial stability. When it comes down to family, kids, even pregnancy, you guys have to keep that protected. Use fairy wall. The fairy wall is going to burn everything that is trying to get in the way. You can do a combination of fairy wall on a regular basis and then your regular protection spells. Finances will fall into the same thing as work. When it comes down to home and apartment, I've shown you guys how to 5-spot. I've told you to use the black salt. I told you also to use your red brick dust. And let me say this, red salt, that fake red salt, that people that don't know what they're doing, that they're telling you to use on love, that's incorrect. You cannot take red salt and make red salt and use it for love using hot peppers, ghost peppers, and those type of hot energy. No, it's a failure. I use red salt to protect the outside of my home, so no negative energies come in, so no low vibrations come in. That's what I do. And I have a bunch of protective plants for energy around the home. And for those of you that don't know how to do things, start off basic. Use your resins with charcoal. Use my magic wash and use it on a regular basis. Do a whole week where you're cleansing the home. You have to know how to protect. You need to protect your mind. Your mental health is very, very important in spirituality. That's how the spirits talk to you. If there's no clarity, if there's a lot of confusion, if there's a lot of back and forth and blockages, how are the guardians supposed to protect you and keep messages around you? How are the ancestors supposed to get messages to you and guide you? How are the saints supposed to connect to you? How are the other outer spirits and energies that you work with, which is DTs, Orishas, the Loas, how are they supposed to get through to you? How? They're not going to. The low vibrations, however, that always have something nasty and dirty in their mind, they're going to be easily able to get through to you. They're going to get through to your statues. They're going to live in them. They're going to pretend there's something else. And then when they're ready, they're going to trap you. So if your mind is not protected, this is why I tell you, wear your scarves on a regular basis. And then you can wash them. And then I'll show you how to re-protect them or put cleansing back over on them. You either get a cleansing or you get a protection scarf. I know a lot of my customers that do not wash that scarf at all. And after a while, I tell them, send me a picture. Let me see what it looks like. If it looks too dirty, I tell you to remove it. I tell you to dispose of it. It's no longer good. I don't want you using it no more. You have protected your mind above and beyond. You need a new scarf. Protection beads. When for most of you ladies that are pregnant this year, you need to protect your belly. I make protection beads. That protection bead stays on you. You do not, and it has elastic in it, so it expands. You do not take it off. And you do not reconnect with negative energies. If you know your husband and your child's father is negative and you continue to sleep with that person during pregnancies and they continue to bring negative energies onto you, yes, there's a high risk that that child is going to have some negative energies within them as well in the womb. So if y'all don't care about how protection is done and y'all don't care about cleansing and uncrossing and y'all not learning the differences between them, you are going to get stuck. So again, cleansing, regular basis. That's your spiritual bath. That's your spiritual toothbrush. Okay? That's your spiritual breakfast. You're going to have it every single day. That's your spiritual clothes. You're going to do it on a regular basis. Okay? Uncrossing, I want you to do uncrossings a little bit more. Every single time you go and you touch people, I want you to uncross. Let's talk about freezer spells for a bit. So a lime, put it in the freezer to keep away, back away people. You can cleanse right after that. You can do your cleansing bath. And if you can't do a cleansing bath on a regular basis, keep a cleansing light going. It is going to be really, really beneficial. And wear your cleansing bracelets. And remember, bracelets go on the left. For any other person, any fool telling you, yeah, put it on the right, put it on the right, they're wrong. Cleansing and protection and anything to protect you from evil eye, it goes on the left hand. It goes on the left hand. I prefer the bracelets on the left hand overall. Even when I make gambling bracelets for my customers, I would tell them, if you could get it on your left foot, put it on your left foot. Because you don't want anybody touching your fortune and your luck. Put it on the left foot. Even for babies. Left hand, when I make protection bracelets for babies and babies that are not even born yet. Left hand when that child is born. And you don't let nobody touch that bracelet. Left always. Okay? When it comes down to uncrossing on a regular basis, if you're working dirty all the time, you have to find a space in between working dirty. Like, you don't want to be working dirty all the time. You cannot work dirty all the time. Because when it comes down to cleansing and protection, you're going to be weakened with that. And you're going to have to go to a root worker, a spiritualist that knows what they're doing, that can read you and make you the products. Do not go to somebody that's going to send you to this state, this place, that place to get an oil, to get a brick. That's too much. And then they want you to come back to them? Well, what are you doing? You do not want to do that. Find one place, pick a space where you can get every single thing done. You don't want to exchange your energy. And you know why? Because many of you will go to people that do dirty and that person is telling you, yeah, I can uncross you. And what they do, they trap you up more in the dirtiness. You're more cursed and crossed up now than you ever was before. Why? Because that person's hands is not good for that. You do not want to deal with that. You do not want to do not get into a practice to where you're just working dirty just because. No. Listen, if it is deserving, okay? If you've gotten a reading and you see that payback is due and necessary, yes. But do not be the type of person that you're working on people just because, oh, I don't like her hair, or their marriage looks better than mine, or they drive a better car, or I'm jealous, or I'm a hater of them, and you go and you work. That's not good. That's not good energy. That's not, and your ancestors will tell you to leave that alone. If you got some good ancestors around you, if you got some good saints around you, if you got some good guardian angels around you, they're going to tell you, listen, leave that alone. Okay? Because the only thing you're going to do is bring in some vibrations that are very low that you are not going to be able to remove. And a lot of times, the more negative and nasty you do, the more you're going to put yourself into a darker place. And when you are dark, people see it in your eyes. When you are hurt and you are trapped in a place where you don't want to be, the eyes will tell a story. I don't care how happy you put your face to be, how big of a smile it is, how white your teeth are. The eyes will show the darkness in that person. And a lot of you watch a lot of dark people on a regular basis, and y'all love a lot of fuckery, y'all love a lot of foolishness, and y'all keep doing it until y'all get trapped, and then y'all want help. Sometimes the spirits don't want to help you. Sometimes the saints don't want to cleanse you back up and get you back where you were, because you're too dark now. You're too negative. And if you don't get yourself uncrossed when you do certain dark and dirty things, you're going to stay like that. And you're going to be unhappy. You're going to never, ever have the things that you want. And you're going to always be the type of person where you're always going after other people's happiness. Nothing good will come for you. And I don't care what type of protections you think you could do. If you're dirty and you never cleanse and you never uncross, a protection is not going to do nothing for you at all. So I really want you to pay attention to this video. For those of you constantly emailing me, asking me what you should do, listen, cleansing, uncrossing, and protection. That is your goal. That is what you need to do. And towards the end of the year, we're going to be in November soon. You guys shouldn't be doing nothing nasty to people, because you're going to come into the new year with that same dirt, that same negativity. Because I don't know if you guys know, but it's easier to put things on people, and it's harder to take things off. So if you're in that situation where you have things on you, it could take you weeks, it could take you months to take things off. And when you take things off, make sure there's no negative people around you that are there that can easily put it back on. Negative people at work, negative family members, negative neighbors, a negative partner. So make sure that everything among you is cleansed, uncrossed, Start cleansing the home up. If you really want to bless yourself for the new year, if you really want to come into, you know, just a windfall of cash, of a better job, finances, happiness, and blessings, start working on that stuff now. Start cleansing on a regular basis. Give yourself a chance. Regular basis, regular basis, regular basis. And make sure you're uncrossing more than you usually do. And that protection, I don't want to hear, I did a protection 10 years ago. That is nothing. And a lot of you think you're protected, yet everything is shaky. Work is shaky. The home is shaky. Finances is shaky. Friendships, family, relationships. You're not protected. Something has crept in. Something has came in and is knocking every single thing down. And in your mind, you swear that little 2-day protection you did is something. That is nothing. If you're lighting up one chime candle and you're praying and you're like, oh, Psalms 91, I'm protected. No, you're not. These rituals take time. That's why I tell you, get into the process of doing things on a regular basis, consistency. And make sure that you got good spiritual products. If you're going the cheap route, you're going to always get the cheap end results. Always consider that. Make sure you have good items. Make sure you have good oils. Make sure you're praying. Praying don't cost you nothing. And work it into your rituals. Work it into the spells. Move outside of the jars. Move outside of the new moon and the full moon. Learn your planetary days. Learn to work with timing. Learn to work with your energy. Learn to work with specific candle colors. All of that stuff is going to build you up to be a better person spiritually. And in the long run, you're going to get the things that you want if you correctly work. So cleansing, uncrossing, and protection. Like, subscribe, and stay blessed.